experience this has been, right? Well, we've still got some more coming up tonight. We've got the reason why we're doing this. Coming out on stage to have a chat, answer questions, do some magic tricks, whatever they're gonna do. Please welcome Paul, Gene, Tommy, and Eric Kidd!
How was last night? Pretty cool. Before we get going, and we've got, you know, a lot of questions and answers, I just wanted to apologize to Bruce, because last night, with everything going on and it being exciting and it being a big adrenaline rush, first I was surprised when Bruce was out there. I didn't remember he was coming out. And then I forgot to give him his due, because Bruce not only is a member of the family, Bruce was an important member of the band. So apologies for not giving him his credit last night.
Well, let's continue to talk about last night. How was it being on stage again after 2 years almost of not playing?
Gene would say it didn't suck.
Gene, what? It didn't suck. You know, the best thing, we congratulate ourselves, you know, we played so well, we love being together, it's a little gay, but we really enjoy being together. But I gotta tell you, we've recognized lots of your beautiful faces over the years, and it means so, I know this is cornball, but to us it means so much that on this long journey, over half a century, that a lot of you have stuck by us, and it means the world to us. Thank you.
You know, it was special for us because we know, and there's no false modesty. Gee, we're really good as a band and really solid. And you can put smoke bombs on stage, and you can put on makeup and boots and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, a crappy band is a crappy band. And for us to get up and play just like this, it feels really good. It feels really good for us.
You know, when we played the first song, Deuce, last night, we got through it, song ended, you guys reacted the way you reacted. It was loud, and I knew right then that, wow, yeah, we did it. And you guys, the way you reacted, it made it, confirmed it, that it was great, and we felt good about that, so.
I mean, obviously we didn't want to let you down. You are the core. I said last night, you're the blood in this band. So we wanted to be as good as we are. You know, interesting for us after 2 years to get into a rehearsal room, and it's like riding a bike. We are who we are, and as soon as we plug in, that's what we sound like. So it's pretty cool, and to share that with you, just awesome.
Eric wants to say something.
Yeah, I just want to say that Gene had been on stage for 2 years. He couldn't find the monitor desk. Right, Paul? Here's Gene yesterday. I can't see you out there. Can you put a light on? And Paul walks over and he goes, Gene, the monitor's over there.
Wait until you turn 76.
But you're going to be 77.
Yeah.
He's going to be 77 in August.
I have to say you're doing very well for 76, don't you guys think?
77, and boy, does he look good.
Gee, they wrote a song about you, 76 trombones.
I fucked Jericho backstage. I'm still good.
Again, one thing that we all love about the Kiss Cruise and this Kiss Cruise in Land is when you guys play, you do a few kind of rarities. And I think last night when you guys did Take Me, that was unbelievable.
No, it's really funny because some of our songs are not really age appropriate anymore. I couldn't imagine writing a song today, put your hand in my pocket, grab onto my rocket, you know? So, nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Gene, what does that lyric mean? I don't understand it.
Gene says now, he says, put your hand in my pocket and find that little blue pill and then grab a hold of my rocket.
Woo! I'm gonna put my log in the fireplace.
Gene, you're like a modern day Socrates.
I don't care. I love me.
I mean, we can see the chemistry that you guys have. You're having so much fun joking. It was like that, the acoustic set as well. I mean, you guys are really enjoying being together again as a band and as friends.
Well, we've been together, what, 20, 30 years. And we have a ball. I mean, we really, it's, you know, bands talk about being family and that they all love each other. We have a ball together, and that's why we've been together as long as we have. It's fun.
Tommy, you had fun with me today at that Name That Tune, didn't you?
Oh, sure. You know, I get a little worried in rehearsal sometimes because we decided, okay, we're going to run through the set, okay? So we play the first song, it ends, and I thought we were going to go into the next song, and all of a sudden, of course, Eric has to start talking about something automatically after the song, and then, of course, Gene has to chime in with jokes and all that. I'm thinking, we're never going to get through this. Can we just play the songs?
Okay, rehearsal is no different than playing live. We'll be, like last night, I'm going, okay, we're going to do a song, and you hear in the background, motherfucker, what are you doing? And it's Eric going crazy behind.
I want to kill the monitor engineer. I'm going to kill him. Get him over.
Hold on, to be fair, the snare drum had broken the first song. 3 sets of in-ear monitors kept going out during the show, so I was having a difficulty.
It's like, quiet down, chipmunk.
So we're gonna pepper in some of your guys' questions as well. It looks like we've got a lineup of you waiting patiently, so why don't we take a question right off the gate right now? There he is.
Hello, this is Gerardo from Monterrey, Mexico. And I have a question. What do you feel when you see children as a new fans, like your legacy is still growing? And as a fan, I want to tell you, we miss you a lot.
I think you said, how does it feel that your legend is still growing with new fans and older fans, but it's becoming so many generations and a lot of new younger fans as well.
You know, we've always had Kiss Army, which started, as you know, in Terre Haute, Indiana. And, but this is a tribe. This is a whole different, what it's grown into is a launching pad for other bands and for people who want to be doctors. You know, it's amazing because we'll meet people who say, I kicked drugs because of you guys. I went to college because of you guys. You know, to turn their lives around. Or there's people in other bands. And it's not a matter of copying what we do. It's taking that spirit to become who you want to be. So it's great to have people out there who are musicians who don't sound anything like us, but were inspired by us. So, you know, I hope everybody here takes that home and lives it. The idea that you can be anything you want to be if you work hard.
Everybody talks about your dreams and aspirations and ambitions and other big words. So here we are, over half a century, still, we're still here. There have been lots of heartbreak. Devastation was Ace's passing. We were all there, Peter, Paul, myself, and we continue because the legacy of KISS has to continue. And despite the fact what some of you may think that this is the sunset, I promise you, this is the beginning. This is the caterpillar that's going to become the beautiful butterfly. We've seen plans for the future, and it will blow your mind. And we can't even talk about it because it's difficult to describe it. But I can tell you that the excitement begins in a few weeks when we're going to be in Washington, D.C. And we're going to be honored by the Kennedy Center Honors. And I don't even think I can announce who's going to be walking out first, hosting and singing.
Lots of good people.
Yeah.
Who saw the avatars, the current ones, that was at that Q&A with Doc and all the people from Pop House? The avatars look identical to photos of us. It's not what anybody saw at Madison Square Garden. Really, the idea there was kind of, we had mixed feelings about it because those didn't resemble what the avatars are going to be. It was kind of a way to show everybody that things will continue. But anybody who was in that room yesterday, the day before, and saw what those avatars look like, they're us. They're us 40 years ago.
Amazing.
I look really good.
Let's do another question from the other side over here.
Another over there, honey.
Hi, my name is Peter Christian Papalardo. I'm from Staten Island, New York. Paul, I saw you earlier today. It was a pleasure. Gene, I saw you back in Orlando a few months ago. I was the captain in the military. You thought I was 12 years old. So my question is, I've been on this earth for 28 years and played the drums for 26 of those years. What are all your guys' greatest tips for being a drummer and how to succeed as a drummer?
Well, first it starts off with passion. I always tell everybody, if you want to be in the music business, because it's not easy, you better love music and love playing your instrument, and that's what gives you the drive. When I went to go see bands, we didn't have MTV, we didn't have YouTube. You had records and then live concerts. So going to the concerts to me was my inspiration. I'd go early and walk down to the stage and look at the equipment, and I felt like I was going, every band I saw, I felt like I learned something. I was going to school because I said, I want to do that, I want to be that. And I always believed that I could. I don't know, it sounds maybe easy to say later if you achieve some level of success, but I really always believed that I was going to do this and I was supposed to do that. So I think it starts with, right, Gene? When you wish upon a star.
Oh yeah.
Tell them about Jiminy Cricket. Again.
I think they've heard that, but it doesn't matter what presses that button. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. Whatever that thing is that wakes you up to this is going to be cornball, the wonder of life. It's going to be what you make it. Everybody's got dreams, and the rest is just hard goddamn work every day without people caring about what you do, everybody criticizing what you say. The winners are the ones who dream big and then never stop until they achieve what they want. If not there, then somewhere else. This is America, baby, where dreams come true.
It's really so simple. Find your passion. Eric really brought that word into it. And I tell my kids the same thing. The only thing that's important is find your passion. Anything that comes along with that is a bonus. Whether you want to sweep streets or want to be an astronaut or a rock star or whatever, aspiring it is really what it's about. You know, when I say live to win doesn't mean you succeed. It means you try. And that's all we can do. That's all we can do in life is follow our own path. And wherever it takes us, we know we did it. We tried.
Gene, quick question, Gene. You're talking about drumming. As a bass player, you have to lock in with the drummer for the rhythm section. You've played with 3 great drummers, Peter, Eric, and Eric Carr. Was there different ways that you adjusted as a bass player to lock in with the groove for the 3 different guys?
I'm sorry? I'm really not a great person to talk about bass playing philosophy, because I come from a school, more like McCartney's approach, which is that they sometimes played against the drums, sometimes not. Like the classic bass drums lock-in would be a band like AC/DC, for instance. You'd have boom, dum, 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 dum. Bass would come in like boom, 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 like lick it up. Like, so you're locked in and there's that train track and the music goes on top of that. Whereas McCartney and very few others would play melodies like a string quartet where the cello had its own melody and they all kind of arrive. So it's a much more difficult way of doing it, but I don't know anything except what I hear. So some of those riffs that you guys like, I just heard them in my head and started playing that, and then, you know, the guitars would go, wait a minute, maybe we should do some of those riffs in the song, and they're not always in time with the drums, and you still have to somehow connect. Like in Love Her All I Can, Eric is playing time, you know, like, and we're going, bum, 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 just not on time, if you see what I mean. I wish you were a musician so you'd understand, oh, that's right, you're pushing here, pushing there. So to make a long story short, I love the sound of my own voice.
Chris, let me just say one thing. Gene, and I'm not kissing his ass, Gene is a great bass player. I played with a lot of great musicians. Gene doesn't, he's solid as a rock. He doesn't speed up, he doesn't slow down. So for a drummer, I can't speak for how Peter or Eric Carr interacted with him, but Gene is very easy to play with because that's it. Gene, I wanted Benjamin Franklin. Gene, you're amazing. The Jaco Pastorius of rock. Anyways, seriously, Gene and Paul will attest to it. He's been there from day one. Gene's very creative and melodic, like listen to Going Blind as a good example. But Gene is so easy to play with, so it's like effortless. So it's an interaction. Sometimes you fight each other. I don't fight when I play with Gene. It's very, very easy.
I have to say, I don't think that Gene ever gets, you know, his due, because Gene loves doing shtick, you know, and all that Gene does as far as his personality and the things he says somehow gets in the way of people, certain people listening and going, he's a fantastic bass player. As you know, I played with him. You don't come close, buddy.
Gene, get out that stack.
And Gene wants to let everybody know that he's handing all that money out to everybody here as a sign of appreciation.
I dare you to give it all out right now, Gene. I dare you.
Let's Let's go back to this side over here.
At the end, everybody should come up single file, and Gene wants to give you each $100.
Hello guys, my name is Luis, I'm from Mexico City, and I have a question. So, what do you think is the most important element to be maintained for the next 50 years with the average show? And have you considered recording a non-AI album or tracks for it?
Great questions. There may be some music in the works, and that's part of the surprise. Is that we like to tell you what we're doing or things that are planned. The problem is so much of what we may bring up never comes to fruition. Music, yeah, that looks pretty damn more than possible, probable.
Okay, hold on. So you're saying it's possible and probable there's gonna be new Kiss music?
You didn't hear that from me.
I mean, that's amazing. That's the thing. You never stop writing riffs for Gene, all you guys, Paul, Tommy, Eric. So you must have a lot of stuff in the can, so to speak.
That's true. That's why you can pick up our new box sets, a live box set as well as Dressed to Kill box set. There will be plenty of surprises and some never released songs. This has been a public service announcement.
I'm not going to give you any hints, but I really only write when there's a project, and I've been writing.
Well, I have to say, that's a scoop. Hey, guys, how about over here again?
Hi, I'm Pete from New York, and I had no voice after last night, so apologies. My question is for Gene Simmons from Kiss. Gene, back in the day when you guys started out, you had a million amazing ideas that helped grow you into the biggest band in the world, and that's why we love you to this day. There must have been a lot of things that you guys kicked the tires on and never saw the light of day. And wonder if you might remember some of those, and maybe anything you even would have done differently.
Well, he thinks all of his ideas are great. Right, Paul?
I have to tell you the stuff is disposable. Kiss condoms, kiss caskets, you know what I'm gonna say. We'll get you coming and we'll get you going.
My line.
But I will tell you, if I have any regrets, my hand to God, it's that I sometimes, and I think we all go through this, sometimes wish we were smarter and better at trying to help Ace and Peter have better lives. And sometimes all of us are guilty of it, and so am I, I don't want to start an argument and, let's just continue doing the tour because you want to get through it for selfish reasons, because it's working and the chicks and the money and the blah, blah, blah. You don't want to ruin anything. Meantime, somebody who might be your brother is ruining their life by bad decisions. And I think this goes to your friends, your lovers, your family members. I wish I would have practiced more tough love and just kind of, been more in the face of people that we cared about and maybe could have been better.
Gee, who's your favorite president?
In the past or the present?
On money, I'm talking on currency.
Oh, you mean that, yes.
Ben Franklin wasn't a president.
Okay, well, then divert it for I want to
They
know.
used to have $500 and $1,000 bills.
Yes, yes, Senator. He's our youngest member, so you'll excuse him. No, he's not. Tommy's younger.
I act younger, but Tommy's younger.
Yeah. By the way, if your cat is stuck in a tree, just call Tommy. He's going to be. Tough love is a good idea, in my opinion, with your children, with the people you love, with the people you care about, with the people you work with. It's not going to be a popular thing, or you're going to argue about it, but in the long run, you're going to be helping that person hopefully change their life. My mother used to smoke cigarettes every single day, and because I loved my mother more than life itself, I used to put these explosive loads in her cigarettes. Yeah, so that she wouldn't listen to me. In those early days, people heard that it was bad for you, and I used to put loads, and she'd whack me on the butt. I used to go to work with my mother in the sweat factory. She made about $38 to $100 a week, depending, no minimum wage, in a sweat factory in the summer. I used to go and help her. And I remember one Friday when she went to Mr. Summit, the owner of the place, "Hello, Florence, do you have a cigarette?" She goes, "Yes," and I'm going, "Oh dear Lord, I hope she doesn't pick the wrong one." And she gave him a cigarette, I swear this is true, and he lit up, and I'm sweating, and everything's fine. Then we go to the elevator to go down, and then you hear, "Oh!" I see my mom gave me the stink eye, and I went, "Oh." But my mother quit smoking, and that's what it's about.
Hello guys, I am Eduardo from Mexico City. And actually this is a question for Mr. Paul Stanley. So Paul, something that I always admire about you is how you carried the band through some incredibly tough years. So looking back now, what's the one decision, and it can be musically or personally, that you feel truly changed the destiny of kids?
I think the key, at least my view of success with the band, was pragmatism. You have to prioritize what's important to you. And if some people aren't doing their job or holding up their weight, or people are AWOL, not around, that's true. But what matters to you, and what mattered to me, was KISS. And if somebody wasn't bailing water and the ship was sinking, and it took on a lot of water at different times, I just worked that much harder because I loved the band. And the most important thing to me was to see the band survive. And it's been like that since the beginning with, different times. Look, when Gene and I met, it's a famous story, but I didn't particularly like him. But it's a whole lot easier to succeed when you've got somebody by your side, even if they don't want to be there. So I worked with Gene, and we got together because we had the same dream. And we also understood that success doesn't come overnight, and it's not always easy to get there. So it's a matter of having a clear vision of what you want and what it takes to get there, and what's important to you. So that's really what I guess I've brought to the band consistently, is the idea that I don't want the band to die.
Was there ever a time when you guys considered stopping the band?
Never. Absolutely never. When we did a tour where literally we wouldn't have this many people in an arena, and it was miserable. It was miserable to go out on stage. And at that time, really it came down to, do we go out there and take our frustration out on the people who were there, who paid, or work that much harder so that those people would go home and tell other people what they missed. There were reporters, I remember doing an interview, and a journalist said to me, they can be pretty unkind, and they can forget that you are actually people. And he said to me, "So how does it feel to be on the Titanic?" And I remember thinking, Nobody's going to decide when this is over. And that's another reason for it to continue, is to show those pricks that we decide how long this is going to go on. And last night, look, there are people who, after last night's show, not here, but there's people going, oh, they said they weren't coming back, and why are they doing this? Those are the people who never wanted us around in the first place. So we're not here for them, we're here for you.
Hi, my name is Bar from Haifa, Israel.
מה השם שלך?
Bar
איפה נולדת?
in Carmel, I think.
גם ימני.
I know.
גרתי בדירת הכרמל.
כן, אני גרתי במרכז הכרמל, אני חושב, איזה שנתיים, ואז עברנו שוב ליד.
He said there are a lot of hot chicks here tonight.
I wanted to ask, what gave you the inspiration for the makeup and the characters of Starchild and the Demon?
I have to tell you that if we tried to verbalize it, I don't think we could, because it doesn't come close to the truth. One day, like a fable, one day you couldn't find more unqualified, no resume, no experience, knuckleheads from the streets of New York who were in a rat-infested loft that had no windows and huge cockroaches with mustaches. They were badass.
What did you looking at?
You know, it was a bad place. Just one door in, one door out. And we were just blindly dedicated to this idea. You've heard it before. Let's put together the band we never saw on stage. You know, write the songs that we loved, kind of Anglophiles. And every day was like pulling teeth, but something was happening. The songs that we started to write in the beginning are the songs we continue to play today. So we got that right. And then we thought about how do we stand out? Are songs enough? Because people are going to be looking at us also. And I swear to you, not one of us, not Paul, not myself, Ace or Peter, can lay claim to the idea that, oh, I said, let's all wear makeup, everybody be different personas, and I'll be the cat man and you be this and you be that. No, we just kind of, I don't know who said it, let's go down to something like Woolworth's, a store. And I don't know how we wound up buying clown makeup. Paul bought red lipstick, thank you.
What's that?
Nothing. And we brought makeup on and we bought mirrors, cheap mirrors, that when you leaned them against the wall, they would warp a little bit. And each one of us somehow came up with our own, makeup that pretty much has stood the test of time. There is sometimes things just happen, and I don't know if it's fate or God or we just happened to fall into it. We didn't have a manager, nobody was a marketing expert, nobody used the word marketing. The magic of Kisses, it just happened.
Jay, Paul, did you have mirrors set up in the rehearsal room so you could watch how you perform to work on your stage moves and presence?
When we got a little bit further along, we met Bill O'Coin, who really was like the fifth member of the band. We never would have lasted, we never would have had the success that we built on without Bill. So Bill was really an instrumental part with the original four members, and his boyfriend was a guy named Sean Delaney. And Sean, in his own right, was visionary. And we went to a rehearsal basement, and Bill set up a camera, a video camera. And back then, It wasn't like everybody with their iPhones. That was a serious piece of equipment. And Sean sat there, and we would watch back the videos, like football players, like sports after a game. You watch to see what worked and what didn't. And that's the interesting part of it, because I remember thinking, oh, I'm really moving, you know, and I wasn't doing anything. You know, this doesn't do anything. This does. So you learn that the space around you is prime real estate, and you have to take advantage of it all. And it was during our rehearsals that after one of the songs, Sean said, you have to do that move again. And we went, what move? And he goes, this one. And we were like, well, that's corny. It's like, we don't choreograph what we do. And sure enough, he was right. We wound up, the three of us in the front, doing that. And, you know, it must have not only lasted and stood the test of time, but I can't tell you, well, you know how many other bands are out there doing some sort of form of that. So that was Sean Delaney. We can't take, as Gene was saying, we can't take the credit for everything. We've always surrounded ourselves, luckily, with people who enhanced what we were doing. You're only as good as your team. Nobody's going to win a game on their own. And with all respect, I mean, we wouldn't be here today if not for Peter and Ace and Gene and myself starting this. And we also wouldn't be here today without Tommy and Eric. So, and somebody is going to write, what an asshole Paul is. He didn't give the other, you know, the original guys their due. We wouldn't be here if not for those guys. And everything we built, this monument that's KISS, this monolith, is built on their shoulders and ours.
Let me ask a question. After Ace passed, I went down the rabbit hole and watched some of the videos. Let's talk a little about the Tom Snyder Show. One of the funniest things, I don't know if you guys found it as funny. You still don't know.
We didn't find it very funny. It was scary. You know, we're out there, but I thought you were going to talk about a midnight special. Some of those early performances we did, I look at them now and I just go, man, we were on fire. Peter was playing like a man possessed, and Ace was, you know, the epitome of a rock star. But when we did Tom Snyder, we were, you know, promoting that personas, you know, that iconic group of guys. And Ace shows up late, and he shows up a little beyond buzzed. And you can see, Gene and I, it's like terror. It's like terror in our eyes. And Ace is there making jokes about he's the bass player, you know, and Peter is enjoying every minute of watching us squirm. So that was a perfect portrait of the dynamics of the band. Right? It was Ace being crazy and Peter loving how uncomfortable we were. And you know, that combustiveness is what made KISS in the beginning what it was four very, very different personalities that were together, and it was all for one and one for all. Even though, you know, we were careening all the time, we were going to take over the world. We were on a crusade.
Tell me to fuck off.
Just say the chick and he said, go fuck yourself.
Go ahead.
I am Julie from Indianapolis, Indiana. I am indie. Hi, my teammate.
I came up with it. Go ahead.
No, Gene was Indy. Right, Gene? Remember I did that to your hat that time?
I'll move on.
No, please, move ahead. We're idiots. Go ahead.
So, my teammates and I just came in second place in the trivia contest, and we need some clarification. When did you start using the drum riser in concert? The answer given was the Destroyer Tour.
No.
Wrong.
Thank you, that was our answer. He answered much earlier than that, because we remember you talking about it in the Tom Snyder interview.
Absolutely. We, as a club band, had a drum riser, and Neil Bogart, who was the president of Casablanca Records, had this idea that the drums should go up in the air. It's a great idea, but we neither had the money or the technical ability to pull that off the way it could have been. So literally, we had a forklift behind and under the drums. And we didn't even have it motorized. There'd be guys back there pulling on chains, and the drums are going up, and sometimes they would tilt. So that was the original drum riser, and that was pretty much from the inception of our deal with Casablanca. So you're right if you're saying much earlier, much earlier.
Paul, I want to say, I didn't get to go because I wasn't 18 years old yet. They played the Cleveland Agora. They opened for Rory Gallagher, their first tour. And my friend, his dad, Hank LeConte, owned the club. And he took pictures, and he said the drum went up in the air, and then they blew off all the fireworks, and the fire alarms went off, and they had to empty the place out. So they were doing that, opening up for bands in the very beginning, right?
Always. Always. Didn't matter who we were playing with. Most bands, we were in a great position because nobody had seen a band doing anything, even on a small scale, of what we were doing. So we got away with murder. We were pipsqueaks. We were an opening act, setting bombs off on stage. And back then, you didn't have what are now called pyrotechnicians. We had arsonists. we had some guy that liked to blow shit up. And one night it would be like that, and next night it would put a hole in the stage. So from the very beginnings of the band, we got away with whatever we wanted to do. There were headline bands who played with a Kiss song behind them. So people didn't know any different. So we took control.
Jane, please tell the story when you guys opened for Black Sabbath and Geezer Butler, they had the British flag.
This was very early on. It was in Boston, and we were the opening act, not for long. And Geezer and the guys are waiting to get up on stage. And Ozzy, by the way, years later, told me about that. And I also read in interviews where he said so. I walked up in back of Geezer just to kind of check out the stage after we got off, you know, all bloodied and looking like I just crawled out of somebody's ass. Which is an interesting image. So with the heels and everything, and all messy, and I must have smelled like, well, not good. So Geezer's a little guy.
Like you usually do.
Thank you. Thank you. So with the heels on, I'm 6'2", you know, I had another 7 inches, that's 7 inches, right? So there's a tower above him, and he turned around, didn't expect me to be there. So apparently he went backstage and told Ozzy, you know, he's blowing, you know, what the fuck are we doing here? They're blowing up stuff and everything. And Ozzy, in print, said something like, that's when he knew that this band was going to be big, that he instills fear in the headliner. He said, okay, this is a band that he got it. And the rest is history.
You said they had a British flag, and you asked him, why do you have that British flag on stage? You're in America.
Oh yeah, I'm an asshole. We got the British flag out there. The fuck is this? Oh, America, you're in America, bitch, take that flag off. Anyway, that's another story.
Has there ever been a time, I'm sure there's been a few, when you were flying across for Love Gun or Gene, when you were 11 going up to the rafters, where it didn't work the way it was supposed to?
Yes, I was at the show, 2000 Anaheim. Paul was out, he makes it to about right there. So the people are grabbing his boots, he gets stuck. Then Gene came down, he got stuck with his feet about, the bottoms of his feet were about here, and the guys are trying to get him down. Both guys got stuck same show.
At one point, I think we were in Australia, and Gene had a different flying rig, and it would take him, instead of out, it would take him across the stage.
Roll. Outdoors
and so Gene does his bit before God of Thunder, and then he goes up in the air, and like a clothesline, they take him across the stage and smash him into the wall, and if that's not bad enough, they back up again and smash him into it again. And he comes down onto the stage, and he goes, I'm hurt.
The rig wasn't working. To make matters worse, when they lowered me down, something about the gears, I was coming down upside down. So, wasn't a good day.
I'm hurt.
Paul, my favorite story, when you said that old modern guy, Max or something, and Gene choked him out?
We had at the time, a 52-year-old man who at the time we thought was an old guy, Schmel. Do you remember Schmel?
Yep.
And yeah, white people have no rhythm, I've heard, so. Boom. And of course, that's what it's supposed to be. And I keep yelling at it, it's right over there. He couldn't get it. And in the early days, we were just working off of testosterone, you know, just like passion. You want to get it right. And this poor 52-year-old man, you know, between listening to Lawrence Welk records and stuff, had no idea about time. And it is true, I did go over and started choking this 52-year-old man. Boom! He didn't know what I was talking about. Of course, in those days, people didn't sue each other.
I swear, back then, when Gene would, I mean, you see it in performance videos, Gene would just be lost. He really became that person or persona. And I can remember at one point he was doing something and I wanted to tell him to stop. And I look over and he's chewing on the monitor, on the speakers, and I thought, forget it.
Yeah.
My name's Bill Allen from Muncie, Indiana. Questions for any of you. Aside from the flying rig incidents, were there ever a time that you looked back?
Louder, please.
From the hazards of the stage, were there ever times you looked back and thought, hey, this probably isn't going to turn out well, to the point where you will kind of fear for your life?
You know, about 2 years ago on the last tour, we were in Australia, and for the AFL, the big football league final. You guys remember Melbourne? And we went out and did that pre-game show before it started. And these flames, the flame projectors, they had many of them, and it was the hottest thing we've ever experienced.
It was so, that's probably the only time I can remember being terrified. They were using these, I don't know, some sort of gas. It was like a furnace. It was literally, and this is being broadcast and telecast all over Australia, New Zealand, and I was about to start running because my skin, the hair on my arms was burning.
Yeah, we thought like we were gonna melt. And there was completely surrounded us, it had, I don't know what the temperature was, but it was overwhelming, it was scary. But that was the one that stuck out to me.
I have to tell you, looking back on it now, there was no master plan about who we were, what we were. We created our own personas. And so when Bill Coyne, our manager, in the beginning brought in, you know, bald guy who's going to spit fire and singed the ceiling in the office, we're just sitting there going, oh, that's interesting. And the manager knew that one of us was going to be spitting fire every show until the end of time. And the story gets mixed up about which one, you know, I must have heard wrong or something, but somehow my hand went up and, okay, Simmons, you're the one that's going to be spitting fire. I had no idea that on the very first show, the third number, Firehouse, of course, in those days, you take, you know, like the girls will tell you, you take the, like the tip of your hair at the root and, you know, spray it a lot so that it would like stand up and you'd have really big hair. And on the can, I forgot to read, on the very first show, New Year's Eve, 73, 74, on the can of hairspray it says, Gene, you fucking ignoramus, don't spray it, you're gonna go up like, you know, boom. Sure enough, I caught fire on the first show, not the only time, and they put me out under it, and the audience went, no, fucking great. And, also, other things happened, which I don't want to talk about a fan who got hit in the face. That's another story. And then later on, there was a gag, a thing that I think was originally intended for Paul. So here's what's going to happen. This piano wire on stage with no net, and you're going to fly up to the top of the light truss, however, I think that's 9 feet per second, or 6 to 9 feet per second, and you're going to go up there and sing a song up there with no net. And I remember hearing, fuck that, something like that. All right, Simmons, you're going to be the, and I have to tell you, every show, with no exaggeration, I had to train myself to look straight ahead from up there, like higher than this, quite a bit higher than this. You're singing that, and inside, so you gotta look straight ahead, because if you look down underneath you, that's not a good idea. You get this kind of thing. And every day, and sometimes, here's the platform, and I'm on stage here, and it's a tricky thing to fly me up and then forward, so I land on the top of the riser. Well, sometimes they'd take me forward, and I'd come up and bang my head under the platform, and they'd drag me. So it was never easy, and no net, so it's all about me.
You were talking, last few questions for you guys as we start to wind down. You were talking about Black Sabbath and Kiss opening for them, how Black Sabbath knew that, we're in trouble. Was there ever any opening band that you had, not where you felt you're in trouble, but knew that, oh my God, these guys are great?
I think historically one thing we're proud of is to a band and to any opening act, they'll tell you that we gave them everything. Very often the opening bands get less lights, they turn the sound down, and all that's done because the headliner is scared. The whole idea for us has always been, we want the opening bands to go out there and be as great as they can, and then we'll go out and show you why we're the headliner. And if that doesn't happen, then we don't deserve to be the headliner. So we've always had great opening acts, whether it was Priest, Iron Maiden, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, AC Nugent, Rush, Tom Petty, AC/DC. The list goes on. And for us, it's always been, go out there and kill it. You know, this is your chance. You decide. It's like gladiators. It's either this or this. And some of those bands all rose to the occasion, and some got the thumbs down, but we've always been about championing opening acts, because we were once there and we weren't treated well.
Is that, when you opened with Black and Blue for Kiss, is that what you remember, Tom?
It was great. No, Kiss does treat the opening acts really well. Give them stage room, lights, video these days. So, yeah, it was a great experience, and that's when I met these guys. The rest is history, really. That was 40-some years ago.
So, last night you guys played a great show. You mentioned future plans, the possibility, maybe future music. Will you do more shows? Because you guys look great. It was so much fun to watch.
It depends on if Gene can fit us into his schedule with his Gene Simmons band.
Can you envision that, Paul? What do you think?
We haven't talked about it. We're really proud of what we did last night. We were no different than we expected. We know what we're capable of, and it was great. What we'll do at this point, I have no idea. When we talk about a Kiss Cruise next year, the holdup with Kiss Cruises is that when we started doing them, nobody was doing that, as you well know. And then what happened is so many other bands started doing the same thing, doing cruises, that now it's virtually impossible to get a ship less than a year in advance. So I guess we were doing something right, but it also makes it more difficult. This was, I don't want to say it was an alternative, because I think, I don't know about you, but I think this has turned out great.
Last question, Gene, go ahead.
I heard you mention my name, I shut up.
Last question for you. What's been your favorite thing about this whole weekend? Because it has been such a great experience, so much fun. I like the cruise, but it's different because we're not on the boat. Is there some things that stood out for you guys about not playing for 2 years and then being around all your fans? Again, it's such a great, great platform.
I'll take this one to start with, but I think all of us should have a say. The favorite thing for us is, who would have imagined 50 years ago that we'd come this far? Who would have imagined, me, that I'd finally get married, the bastard that I am? Who would have imagined that we'd have such amazing kids who are now grown people who are multi-talented? Who would have imagined that Paul's son and my son are getting together for go on YouTube and ShmooTube and press the buttens and you'll see them. Just unbelievable. But my favorite thing, besides your beautiful faces at the shows, is our kids were there. They see, hey Dad, that thing, because that's what we do stuff for, right? Before they drag us kicking and screaming underground, you want your kids to be, but that's my dad. That's my favorite thing.
My favorite thing is just the camaraderie of all you guys being here, so enthusiastic, and this is so important to you to be here and be part of this. Every time we do this, it's like a reunion, it's communal, and I think that part of it is amazing. And I know we're all going to see each other again. Maybe here, maybe it'll be a different setting, but it's going to be, I know we're going to do more. And I just appreciate everything that you guys bring to this, and the fact that you love the band and you're so enthusiastic about it. So thank you guys. And I know we'll all see each other again.
Favorite thing of the week?
Favorite thing this weekend? Just everything combined for me. It's to me just sometimes you forget how much you enjoy playing music. And even though it could be in tough environments, but it reminds you of why you wanted to do it in the first place. Because at the end of the day, it always comes down to the playing and the music. That's it.
Take it on, Mr. Stanley.
I never, ever could have imagined this going as long as it has. And along with you, our children, like Gene was saying, are a part of this. And as opposed to going, hey, you know, I was once in a band and, you know, we had this rabid following, for them to see this and for also them to be together. I was thinking this morning, Evan and Sophie and Nick are like brothers and sisters. I mean, it's so weird to think that we've given birth to like wonderful people who love each other, have found their passions, and we get to share our success with them through looking at you. And we're as proud of you as we are of them, and we're all in this together. It's you know, it's Kiss World. It's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, you wanted the best, you got the best. Kiss!
Thanks, Gene!